Welcome to The Good Pod. Every Sunday we delve into crucial Christian topics, led by Dr. Barry Napier. Don't miss out on our thought-provoking discussions. By the way, have you checked out our website? ChristianDoctrine.com. If you want to explore more about Bible Theology Ministries, start by diving into the articles under the ministry category. Our content is all about spreading the truth of Christian doctrine. We want everyone to see the incredible power of God's kingdom, just like it said in Mark 9:1. Join us as we uncover the depth and beauty of these teachings every week.
Are you a useful idiot or an enemy of God? In Russian, the term means useful fools. This is apt because fool, idiot, stupid, and even barbaric are synonyms used in Scripture for the same thing. Thus, the fool says in his heart there is no God, which makes him stupid. Therefore, Richard Dawkins is stupid according to Scripture. The term is not used as a spiteful jibe, but in its true sense as a matter of fact for people who think they know what they're talking about, but they don't. The term is often attributed to Lenin to speak of men and women who slavishly and blindly follow their leaders, and refers to people who sympathize with and therefore propagandize for a cause they know little about but think they do. That makes them a useful idiot. Does this not describe just about everyone who supports homosexuality, the false environmentalism we have today, socialism, and the current jihadism throughout the world? Yes, it does. It sadly describes many Christians too, who stupidly show empathy and sympathy for those engaged in such evils. How many do you know who support the people of Gaza, for example, even though these people engage in terrorism against Israel, or support it? How many support them out of an emotionalism not suited to the wickedness being exercised? And how many support homosexuals and show an odd love for them when God shows nothing but hatred and condemnation? How many join the Greens when the Greens follow a pagan code and wish to get rid of all idea of God? How many have sympathy for new versions of the Bible even though they are based on the work of godless translators who twist Scripture? How many befriend pseudo-Christians whose lives despise God and are shameless parodies of truth? How many engage and support unbelieving pastors? I could go on. It is useful idiots who form the fifth column within the churches. Because of their laxity and very loose understanding of truth in any situation, they tend to be the enemies of God rather than godly followers of Christ. They are willing to denigrate Christian brethren who stand for truth. They speak in words of folly, making genuine believers out to be false before a hateful public, lawmakers and government. A useful idiot is one who pretends to know everything necessary in any given situation. He then follows the propaganda set out like fodder for him by those with vested interests. He deludedly thinks those he supports like this are his friends. They are not. They despise him. They will tolerate him only insofar as he pleads their cause. When his usefulness is finished, they will discard him like an old rag. Or in the case of violence, they will just kill him, whatever takes their fancy. Scripture speaks of men who hide amongst the baggage. That is, men who accompany an army but who hide amongst the goods and camels, well away from the action when the fighting starts. They wrongly assume that if an enemy finds them, they can plead they had nothing to do with the war. But their limited understanding of enemies will be to their undoing, for the enemy loathes nothing more than a coward. So they will kill him anyway. Their hiding, fake love and pseudo-support will not save them, and in the Christian sense their behaviour will not save them from God's wrath. In the Cold War, those who were useful fools were considered by Russian leaders to take the same political path as them, because they did not deny it or stand for truth. Such people in the West were cynically used by Russia for its own ends. The communists knew the supporters in the West were grossly ignorant of the true nature of socialism, but it didn't matter so long as they continued to plead the socialist cause, usually in the form of the Labour Party. In this way, and in many other causes, foolish Christians have supported and continue to support wicked regimes and activities because they are deluded into thinking they are benign. They are, to all intent and purposes, propagandists for the wicked ones, whose very existence is malignant. Throughout the relevant literature on this phenomenon, useful idiots are considered to be shameful examples of people who sympathize with malignancy out of ignorance and stupidity. Today we see many Christians supporting the misguided but evil people of Gaza, who are the majority. They are, then, useful idiots who have swallowed the satanic propaganda of Hamas. It does not stop there. Those who are willing to be deluded will similarly be deluded about many other wicked schemes, some of which have already been mentioned. The term is, then, an accurate label of derogation for people who believe in rubbish because it is easier than being holy. As Plato once said, to use a paraphrase, people would not recognize the truth if it was handed to them on a plate. Or, as I have discovered, they do not want to recognize the truth. Such Christians are stiff-necked and ignorant. They shame the name of Christian and shame the God they claim to serve. A useful idiot Christian, to propagandists, becomes an enemy of God. What else is he when he supports malignancy and hatred, gross sin and wickedness? It is ironic that these spiritual fifth columnists actually point a finger of blame at genuine believers who strictly keep to what God says. I have lost count of the so-called Christians who call me hateful or evil for not accepting their support for all kinds of evil, from homosexuality to the current people of Gaza, who they say are innocent victims of Israel. It takes very little fact-finding to unearth the truth in each and every movement being supported by liberal Christians. Indeed, there is no need to unearth the truth. It is there, plain as day, and laying on top of the soil. But truth is not the stuff these useful idiots want. They only want their own emotionalism and delusions to be confirmed, and claim it even when everything points the other way.